Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to today's video where we have some news on yet another new camera potentially coming from Canon that's going to be in the EOS R platform. Now, unfortunately, very little is known about this camera other than the fact that it's going to be slotted somewhere in between the R7 and the R10. Now, beyond that piece of information, we don't have any specs whatsoever. Now, because we do know where it's being slotted in at, we can do a lot of speculation that it's going to have some of the specs from probably both the R10 and the R7. We just don't know which specs are coming from which camera. One of the other ideas that's being floated around is that it's going to potentially be a different form factor camera and even possibly have the EVF removed, because over the last year or so we have heard a lot of rumblings out of Canon that they were planning on doing another camera that didn't have an EVF. A lot of people assumed that it was going to be the replacement for the M6 Mark II, and while that's still a possibility, it does make sense that they would do something like this on a new camera being placed between an R7 and R10, just to kind of give it its own identity and try and not do more than they already are in terms of oversaturating that price point. Now, when you start looking at the price differences between the R10 and the R7, you're only looking at about $500 difference between those two bodies as it is. So we can kind of take a guess that this new camera is going to be about $250 to $299 more than the R10. Now, the problem we run into with that is now you're within a $200 price difference of the R7. And is this camera going to have enough features that someone's going to say, you know what, let me buy this instead of just spending the extra $200 and getting the R7? Because if it starts to look like there's too big of a gap between this new camera and the R7, I have a feeling a lot of people are just going to go to the R7. Now, if they can make this camera a smaller form factor, and the removal of the EVF would go a long way in terms of doing that. That way this unit is a little bit more pocket size. That could go a long way in helping sell this camera, especially considering that we do know that they're re-releasing the 22mm EOS M lens as an RF-S lens. That way you would be able to use a small pancake lens on a new smaller form factor camera. Now, unfortunately, since we don't really have any other information, anything that we say is really just guessing in terms of what it's going to be. Because we know what the R7 and the R10 is, like I said earlier, we at least can kind of get an idea of what this camera could be spec-wise. But beyond that, we're just going to have to wait and see. Now, if you watched one of my earlier videos about the Canon R50, we know that there was supposed to be another camera that's announced along with that, and it makes you wonder if this is going to be that other unit. And if that's the case, we should get information on this a lot sooner than we do later. Now, with this set of rumors, we do unfortunately get some bad news. There have been some rumblings in terms of the R7C that was previously rumored, and it seems like there's some cross chatter in regards to if that unit is actually going to still move forward. And it seems like there's some rumblings now that that project may have been canned, and that Canon may have decided not to move forward with the R7C cinema version of the Canon R7. Now, I personally know just from some of the videos I put out, a lot of people were looking forward to that camera if it comes out. So unfortunately, the only thing we can really do with this is just wait and see. All right, guys, that's really all I got. Please let me know down in the comment section, what do you guys think would be a perfect camera to go between the R10 and the R7? What features would you be okay with them removing? Which features would you like to see on that camera? And also tell me how you feel about the fact that the R7C may not actually happen. All right, as always, if you like the video, please hit that thumbs up button as it helps the video and it helps the channel greatly. Also consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. And with that being said, until next time.